Menconi, and I'm running for U.S. Senate for the Green Party in Colorado. And we're on Mint Press News, we're on Real Progressive, and we're here in Washington, D.C., and I'm with one of my favorite activists in the country, Dr. Margaret Flowers, who's also running for U.S. Senate for something called, who are you running for? With the Green Party. So we're both running for the Green Party in America. And we happen to bump into each other, so we want to tell you what it's like being a third-party candidate in an oligarchy that has fixed the system so that we can't get into debate. So Margaret, what are some of the things that's happening? We're only 14 days out from the election.
Really? Yeah, no, it's pretty interesting. It's all these obstacles I was told existed, but running into them like directly. So the commercial media doesn't cover me. I'll go and do a Senate forum and the other candidates are there.
What?
Yeah, and then like the headline is the other candidates, and then at the bottom of the page, 3 pages later, it's like, oh, by the way, Dr. Margaret Flowers is running. And then they exclude me from the debates and they say, but it's not because you're not polling high enough.
Right.
It's like, hello, nobody knows,
Right.
We're doing the best we can to reach people, and the commercial media is not taking our campaign seriously. My opponents can walk into a town, or say they're going to walk into a town, and they get covered. I do major things like walk onto stages where I wasn't invited, and
Yeah, and what happens?
I don't get covered.
You get pulled off. I've seen that
Yeah,
happen
that's
to you.
happened. Yeah,
How many have you ever been arrested?
a few times.
Yeah, more than a few times?
More than a few
couple,
times.
2, 3?
Yeah.
All right, so you've been on the Bill Moyer Show, you've been on Real News, you've been on Democracy Now! What made you want to jump into this race? You knew that it was going to be this difficult.
I did.
So what do you know now that you didn't know when you
I have
started?
a habit of taking on difficult struggles, okay?
Really?
Yes, I do. But because they need to be taken on. Somebody needs to do them. And so my partner Kevin Zeese, we run Popular Resistance, and we've been doing a lot of social movement building work for the last decade. Kevin's been doing it for even longer. At some point, history teaches us you need both a social movement and a political arm to that social movement, and that's what the Green Party is, and that's why we have to build this political alternative. The crisis that we're facing, the fundamental crisis, is that money drives our political policy, and it benefits the wealthy. And you can't change that by voting for the 2 political parties that are dominated by wealth. You have to create the alternative. And right now, that only alternative at the national level is the Green Party. And so we have to run at all levels, and we have to continue to build this. It's the only way that we're going to build a political power.
So I think where can people find out more about you?
flowersforsenate.org. Make sure you check out this Wednesday. There's going to be the only televised Maryland Senate debate. And I'm not invited, but I'm still planning to be there.
Yeah, and you want people to come out and help you get on stage. I tried to do...
I wouldn't say that.
No? What would you like? Okay. I'll say that because a week and a half ago...
I want people to be there, yes.
A week and a half ago, I had a similar thing. The only televised debate for U.S. Senate in Colorado, the only one, I wasn't invited. The Libertarian candidate wasn't invited. They said we weren't polling 10%, but they were using bad polls that are hardline calls, and they're not calling people under 34 years of age. And we're not getting any publicity. So myself and 25 other people showed up, and we didn't know what we were going to do but hold up signs, try to get in. Lo and behold, we were pounding on glass windows at the museum.
I saw that.
And we drowned out part of the debate, and we got more awareness, good or bad, about the fact that third-party people are locked out. And in a state in Colorado where 1.4 million, which is the majority of voters who are unaffiliated in Colorado, under 40, 50% of the people are under 40 and unaffiliated. So we've got to do some real scrappy playing. In the last 14 days, we already have early ballots out in Colorado.
Yeah, we start on Thursday.
Yeah. So I'd love to have somebody who actually knows about things ask me a question and see if, what would one fellow U.S. Senator say to another fellow U.S. Senator?
Well, so why are you running?
Because, great question, because I was in a protest today for why I'm running, because we are in endless wars, and I'm an anti-war activist, and we painted our hands red because of blood-drenched hands. And we're in 7 countries bombing. We have 5 countries we're at war with. We're spending $1 trillion, and we're being lied to death.
And
We're killing
and
it.
what's happening to our U.S.?
And
in the
as,
US?
as Chris Hedges says, we've
Yeah.
gone into moral nihilism.
Right.
We have completely somehow distanced ourselves from the killing of innocent children, innocent people, breeding terrorism.
Right.
And this is not going to stop for 30, 40 years. And I have a 10 and 11-year-old. And when they're older, I don't want them to say, what were you doing during this most historic election?
Absolutely.
So you're doing everything you can. And I would like you to do something for Margaret and I. Please share our stories. Put this interview on as many groups as you can. Put them on the Hillary Clinton groups, put them on the Donald Trump groups, put them on the Chicago Cubs groups, whatever groups you have to. But our story isn't being heard because we're not taking special interest money. Another way of saying that is we're not taking money from the oligarchy.
We're not selling out.
No.
We're here to represent the people. We're here to fight for the things that people need, be it education, addressing the climate crisis, healthcare, affordable housing, you name it, ending our empire economy.
Right.
That's not just hurting people around the world, which it is doing, but it's also hurting us here at home, and people know that. And we need to rebuild our infrastructure. We need to create living wage jobs. We need to end the wealth divide. And these are things that are within our power. We need to end racial injustice, the systemic racism that exists. The drug war needs to end now. We can create a drug policy that legalizes marijuana, that treats drugs as a public health crisis that it is. We can end over-incarceration. There are a lot of things that we can and need to do, and it's within our power as people, but these things are not going to happen until we say that we're done with the current system and we fight for the changes that we need. Then we win. As soon as we recognize that we have the power to do this, we win, folks. There's a lot more of us than there are of them, so please get involved. Get involved now. Let's get some wins this November 8th. Let's continue to fight and go forward and build this and end the plutocracy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Margaret's got a long drive back to Baltimore. We're very fortunate to have her here. Learn more about Margaret. Margaret's also one of the best sources in the United States on the healthcare industry and universal health care. So thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, Arn. Good work.
We'll talk to you.
All
She's
right.
also going to be doing, put in a plug for the TPP.
That's right. The Trans-Pacific Partnership, President Obama is going to try to ratify that this fall. If you haven't checked it out, go to our website, flushthetpp.org. We're doing an action camp starting November 12th, and then 4 days of action, November 14th through the 17th. Then people are doing actions at home the next week. This is a really critical fight. The Trans-Pacific Partnership threatens everything that we care about. We can stop it, but we have to rise up to do that. So please get involved. Flushthetpp.org.
Thanks, Margaret.
All right.
All right, stay
Peace
on. We've
out.
got some more guests in just a second here.
Good night.
See you later.
Thanks.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
Wow.